Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus reading for you, Sagittarius. We are looking into how is the Chinese New Year and the energy going to affect you in the following year, month by month. And the major difference between the Western and the Chinese zodiac is that the new year for the Chinese zodiac is on February 17th, and it will end on February the 5th of 2027, where the Western zodiac is based on the solar system, and this is on, of course, on January 1st, which we have just celebrated, and we are going to begin the February 17th year in the year of the fire horse. And this is also one day before in the Western zodiac, we're moving from the Aquarius to Pisces energy. So if you've already blown your New Year's resolution, here is your second chance. I shuffled the cards earlier, but I just wanted to give them I'm going to give it one more cut here. And we will begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, defining like the overall influence. Oh my goodness, we have the Three of Cups here. So the Three of Cups is a card of celebration. Whether or not it's your celebration or someone else's celebration is the question. The cups represent love, and quite often romantic love. Sometimes they can represent love for something that you have or want to do, or something you want to be. Having said that, what bothers me about this card is, yes, there's three people here celebrating. They're toasting each other, but nobody's looking at each other. They're looking at what they're toasting. So they're not really toasting each other. They're toasting some sort of action or event that's taken place. And in a lot of cultures, and in particular in Europe, if you are toasting someone and you don't look them in the eye, it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life. So kind of defeats the purpose. So let's see what this is about, Sagittarius. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is like one pentacle away from ultimate pentacles. Like there's only 10 pentacles in the tarot. And she has her hand on 6 pentacles, and on the other side, there's 3 pentacles in the bush. These ones are behind her. So this represents that she always keeps this ratio of 6 pentacles for herself, her family, to run her home, all of, her businesses, all of that, because she knows that she has to pay herself first to be able to invest in others. And recognize that the pentacles do represent money, but they also represent having your health, like their health, wealth, happiness in the 3D world, like a life on earth. That's what the pentacles represent, is earth. And the part of that, of course, is money. But this is talking about how are you investing your time, your energy, that kind of, what are you investing in? So as long as you keep this ratio, Nikola Tesla, if you're familiar with Nikola Tesla, said, if you can understand the beauty of the 369, then you will be able to have the key to the universe. And that's what this falcon represents. It shows that she has foresight, that she looks at the big picture, and like she sends her falcon over and gets an overview of the picture. Now, this is also a 9 card, and in these particular readings, moving from one year to another, I have found those numbers to be quite significant, because 2025 is 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9, and that's the end of a cycle, and it's actually the end of a decade, basically. And then moving into 2026, it's a 2 plus 2 plus 6 year. That's a 10. 1 plus 0 equals 1. We are at a 1 year. So we're starting a whole brand new decade, basically, of energy. And so this is talking, like, a lot of people are noticing that this new year feels different. A lot of times when you go from one new year to the other, you don't really notice that much. But this year I feel a lot of people are noticing it. Plus, we do have the full moon that was today. As I'm doing this reading, it's January 4th. The full moon was like on January 3rd. And so that energy is really intense 3 days before and 3 days after. This Cancer full moon is very, very loud because it's very amplified, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. And Cancer is the most emotional sign of all the signs. And so the emotions are really running high with this moon, in particular because when we have the zodiac wheel, Cancer is opposite Capricorn. And on December 22nd, we moved into the Capricorn energy. Capricorn is all about ambition and you know, having like that forward movement and building, you know, building businesses, building estates, building, like that kind of energy to do with the Pentacles. And that energy is exactly opposite of the Cancer energy. The Cancer energy, think of young girls starting their cycle, and maybe their boyfriend just broke up with them, their first love, and they're in bed crying, and they want comfort food and to just watch a movie, and they do not want to go out. And here is the Capricorn energy saying, let's go build a mountain, or let's go climb a mountain, let's go build something, that kind of energy. It's contrasting. And in that sign of Capricorn, we also have the sun. So the sun is shining light on anything that's hidden on the moon at this time. Any illusions left over from 2025 are rising to the surface. The Mars is also in that sign, and Mars is a very aggressive planet. It rules fire, and we are moving into that sign of the fire horse. So this is really intense energy. And then we also have Venus, and Venus is all about love. Now, you may have heard the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I think it was John Gray that wrote that. And so this is that kind of energy. It's very emotional, up and down. It can be very aggressive. And then on top of that, like we're in February here, because we're starting from when the new year starts on February 17th in the year of the fire horse. So the year of the fire horse is right up your alley, Sagittarius. It's a rearing up. It's, you know, ready to go, all that horse energy. So it absolutely is very, it very much amplifies the Sagittarius energy, which is, you know, the fire energy, the centaur, you know, that kind of energy. It represents a lot of love in the love life, a lot of passion and intensity. And in career, it represents really setting really very high achievements, like high standards for goals. And also it is about having adventure, like wanting to do new things or take your businesses or whatever your career is in a different, you know, even if it's just a slightly different direction. And the problem here is with the Sagittarius energy, Sagittarius is also already fired up in that horse energy and wanting to move forward. So we're amplifying that all year. So the main thing for you to recognize is this energy. I feel like this is saying very clearly, be careful you don't burn yourself out, because the tendency for Sagittarius is like, let's just jump into this energy and do 10 times what we were already doing. And you can really get burnt out. And it's also a very impulsive energy. So you want to make sure you control your impulses, especially during this full moon when all of this energy is like very volatile. Okay, and I just did a reading yesterday. It was a general collective reading, and these three came up. So I'm just curious as to what's going to happen here. Well, let's play it out, because this is a different reading. Now look at this. This is interesting. So what this is saying, okay, this is February, this is March-ish energy. So this moon has just, or this year, the new year starts on the 19th. So it's just, you know, kind of in March, it's just kind of gathering some steam. But if you stay in this energy, this is showing Empress energy. And notice how they look so much, they're dressed almost the same. The Empress is all 4 queens rolled up into one person. So she has all the qualities of all 4 queens from the minor arcana. She is known as the generator of energy. Like she magnifies, she's like a magnet to, producing. She's pregnant with possibility. Some people say she may even be pregnant. And this is a 9, so be careful. If, it takes 9 months to have a baby. So be very careful about that if that's not something that you actually want to have. Otherwise, it can just be representing a lot of possibilities coming into your life in 2026 and early in the year. It's going to begin as soon as that fire horse energy, and you probably can feel it already. And so this is the qualities of being able to understand how to value money, time, invest your energy, how to produce. That's what the wheat here represents, and allowing nature to sort of take its course, not to force the energy, just to take consistent steps of action towards your goal and not force it. That's the main thing, and not be impulsive with the energy and do things that you may regret. This is also talks about being a really good partner, like someone who would be someone that you would want to partner up with, either for love or for business, and also having a very sharp mind and at the same time being able to get into your intuition so that you can have more creative solutions to problems. So this is pretty wild. This is pretty good energy here. Look at this. And then Sagittarius shows up. Yes, this is my year. This fire horse energy is making me laugh because you can see the red plume here and the passion, carrying the wand, which it represents fire, and wearing a yellow tunic. This is represent the salamanders on here that are in a circle, and the lion represent protection from fire. So this is talking, though, about this. The knights would work for the king and the queen, and the rest of the court. And in the old days, they would travel far and wide with messages, protect the palace, that kind of energy. And so they were always on an adventure of one sort or another. This is like the rebel with a cause kind of energy. But this knight has learned, this represents that they can have a hot temper and be very hot-headed and impulsive, but he's learned to rein in his emotion so that that's what the horse represents. And this looks like this is the fire horse energy, right? So this is February, March, this is April-ish. And so this is talking about some form of communication coming in. And that communication could be, in the old days, of course, they'd be traveling back and forth to different countries. I want to point out, too, that these 3 pyramids in the background represent the mysteries of life and loving to go on adventures, to be able to just explore the mysteries of life and collecting knowledge just because you enjoy doing it. This energy could indicate a lot of travel is coming in. In the old days, of course, these, it would be handed in person on paper, usually a note, from one king to another, and then the knight would have to ride all the way back. So it could take quite some time for the communication to come through. These days, it could come in by text, it could come in by mail, email, phone call. It could be a social media post, all sorts of different energies. It could be using your your psychic abilities to bring in messages. All of that energy. And this card is about moving forward. The 7 of Wands is about moving forward with conviction beyond a doubt. So this is talking about wanting to, willing to be able to protect yourself and go after whatever it is this communication is about, that you are going to build on it, and you're standing on higher ground here. So the energy, you may have noticed this person has one boot on and one shoe on. And this represents, I feel this card has been coming up quite a bit, and it's talking about leaving 2025 moving into 2026. And having, you know what you know, and you are going to move forward. Whatever this communication, February, March, April-ish, this is going into May. Now recognize, this is just the trajectory of where you're headed now. Your actions are going to change that, actions or inactions. We can't really predict the future. All we can do is predict the trajectory of where you're headed at this time in this energy. And keeping in mind also that this is a general collective reading, so parts of it may or may not resonate. The other thing I want to say is if you're watching this and it's quite some time in the future, just look back to the time this was posted. What was going on in your life at that time? And kind of take in that energy and see if it also gives you clarity. Some form of judgment is coming in. So I posted that, like, I've been doing these readings consistently. This is my priority at this time. And I'm going to turn this way. I am working on these probably in the last 2 weeks. This card has come up probably half the time in all the readings, and I feel like I'm talking about every sign and also in my general collective readings as well as my horoscope readings. And someone asked in the comments, does this mean conviction, like prison conviction? And I was like, oh, I never really thought of it that way. But I guess it could mean that. So it could be because now we have judgment coming in. Perhaps, and see, I'm looking at the sky, and the sky is the same color as this energy here. We have these people. This can quite often represent gossip and slander and, ruining someone's reputation, that kind of energy. And what they're celebrating is like, it's not love because they're not looking at each other. We already established that. So whatever this message is coming in, it could have also to do with the actions of this energy. When you're reading tarot cards, the sky color matters a lot, and you can kind of tell who's with who here. And there's some judgment being called on whatever this information that's coming in. And this information is a judgment from the Most High all the way down to earth. We have the ancestors coming out of the box, and this represents Pandora's box could be opened here. It could also be skeletons coming out of the closet. And we have the descendants and the ancestors waving to each other from both sides of the veil. So both sides are really happy that this judgment is being called. We don't know what it is 100% yet, so we'll keep going. We have the star energy. So the star energy is talking about being in a position to, you're following your destiny, you're dipping into the universal waters. You've got two vessels here, you're pouring in, and you've got your foot in, the right foot is in one, is in the water, and the left foot is grounded on land. So this represents bringing what you came to do, your destiny, and bringing that down to earth and pouring that energy, pouring your special flavor for the soup of the world, of the universe, into being in the 3D. So it could have something to do, this communication coming in, and the judgment could be something that is known for sure now. It's regarding actions of yours or actions of others that have taken place. And this card is talking about that it's regarding something to do with your energy. And then we have, and the fact, like this is saying you're a superstar. You're supposed to be a star. That's what you were born to be. We all were. We're all we're all God's children. And our goal is to be the best version of ourselves. But having said that, this can also represent being a star seed, someone that came with a particular mission on the planet that God has set them up to do, that kind of energy. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles coming in. So the Queen of Pentacles, she's sitting on her throne, and she's also she has that 10th pentacle here. And so that's the energy that's coming in. So this communication could be something regarding this. This is a lot of money. This represents, the Queen of Pentacles represents someone that generally comes from old money. You know, not someone that's flashy with their money. Someone that really enjoys quality over quantity, and understands the value of a pentacle, like understands the value of money, understands the value of the effect that that can have on your health, wealth, and happiness, your lifestyle, that kind of energy. So this is the Queen of Pentacles is known to be very steady, and she's very resourceful. So she could take this one pentacle, and you know, that's the 10th pentacle to add to this, bringing your level up to the Empress level, which is all four queens rolled into one. So this is sort of talking about this journey of how this is going to happen. And then we have the High Priestess coming in. So the High Priestess is talking about, she sits next to on the throne next to God. She follows the cycles of the moon. This energy came up on the full moon in the reading yesterday, and it wasn't pleasant energy. And it was malicious energy. And this energy here is, these two pillars represent good and evil, light and dark, you know, that kind of energy, extremes, positive, negative, and strong, weak kind of energy. And she's sitting between these two pillars. And her job is to use her intuition to see what is the best solution to the problem. And she does that by becoming neutral to the extremes, so that she can be neutral in the middle here and carry out the next best action to take for this Empress energy to be able to come in. And we're looking here February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So going into October. And again, recognizing that this is not a firm timeline. This is just, okay, today we're taking a snapshot of the energy, and this is where it's headed. We have the King of Swords coming in. And so the King of Swords is sitting on their throne. And quite often the King of Swords represents someone who earns their living with their words, rather than, you know, with labor kind of energy. There's someone who's the swords represent your mental intelligence, your discipline of your mind, and this can represent someone that is, you know, because they're the king, they're at the top of their field in whatever they're doing. So this represents someone that could be like lawyer, prosecutor, judge, that kind of energy. It could represent someone who's at the top of the company and makes, like a CEO, makes all the decisions. It could represent a prime minister, a president, you know, someone that runs a country, that kind of energy. It could actually represent a king that runs a country on a global scale, and that coming down like you being the head of your castle. So this represents the ability to use words, and the king is very much aware that words can be used as weapons, and those that also talk is cheap, and actions do speak louder than words. That's the energy of coming in, and this could be some form of formal paperwork, that kind of energy, or it could be some judgment that's coming in from the courts, and you know, the prosecutor, that kind of energy. That's what we're kind of looking at here. And I just want to point out also that all of these characters in the tarot are actually archetypes. So the Empress could be a woman in her feminine energy, as well as a man in his feminine energy. The Knight could be a male in their masculine energy, or a female in her masculine energy. And that's true of all of the cards here. And so then we have, let's see, the next card, a Tower comes in. So is the Tower for Sagittarius, or is the Tower for this energy, or is it for both? Could be both. This is a reality check. A lot of people get upset when they see this card and they're like, I don't want a tower, because it looks like, oh my goodness, like these people are falling out of the tower, And they're, one looks surprised and the other one looks like, glory, hallelujah, get me out of here. The lightning bolt hits, and they're knocked out of their home basically, and they're knocked out of their life really. They're probably not coming back to live there in the near future, right? Look at the flames coming out of the windows, sort of energy. So this is talking sometimes about being knocked off your pedestal, which can be like that fire horse energy coming in saying, let's go do something different. So the reality check is exactly that. And when it comes to this point, the universe can be very subtle and talks to us through synchronicities. And if you don't catch the whispers, then you'll get the frying pan treatment. And if the frying pan treatment doesn't catch your attention, then you get the 2x4, which is this energy where, okay, you have no choice. This is where we're at. That's the kind of energy. So this tower energy is coming in, and it's a reality check for everybody involved here. And this could be because of this judgment coming in, and something now is going to have to change in the 3D. That's the energy. And then we have the, let's see, we have, oh, this card is sticking. There we go. All right. So this card represents burdens that you're carrying that belong to others. And this is, again, the fire energy. So this is the actions of others have caused you a lot of burdens, and you've been carrying them. It can also represent someone who's planted wands and they're bringing their harvest home. And this is the 10 here. So this is the 10 of wands. The 10 of wands could be that you planted all these seeds, and this is your energy coming through here. And whatever this is, it now is heavy with fruit, and you're almost home. This is saying you're almost bringing the harvest home. All your hard work is about to pay off, and that 10th pentacle is about to come in. So keep going. Don't break down now. Don't stop. Don't be distracted. You're so close to home. And the other thing is saying there might be some of this, like these are wands of energy, and so you can decide, you know what, I don't want to carry that wand anymore. I'm going to lighten my load, and I'm going to put a few of these down, and then I'm going to take the rest home. So that's the kind of energy that's representing. If there was some sort of legal judgment or something like that, justice coming in from a judgment and that would be like, this could be a judge, this could be, the court making an order, that kind of energy, because and conviction of some sort could be possible. And then we have, okay, the wounded warrior at the top here. So this is like, again, in the 10 year. So this is talking about, this is happening towards the end of the 2026 year. And this is the energy of, this is the wounded warrior. This is someone who's had to really fight very hard to bring to bring their harvest home from 2025. That's what this is talking about. This is 2026, almost there, and this is 2025. And I was getting, like, putting down maybe one or two of these burdens. And what we have here is we have 9 wands instead of 10. So I feel like it's representing that you've put down 1 wand and decided that also these 8 are behind you now, and they've landed. This is talking about, the energy is talking about this wand that you've got your hand on is the one that is closest to your heart. This is the new energy with this new pentacle that you want to move forward with. And I feel like that's the energy that you're going to be able to travel and have all this new, a lot of new coming in. So this is letting go of the wounded warrior energy. So it's good. It's only 1 wand that you put down. So it's, it is what it is, right? Sometimes it's better to let go of and it could represent something that you wanted back in, in that beginning of that cycle. So think back to what you what happened, what was going on in your life around this time. It's the 4th of January. When I'm doing this reading, what was going on between 2015 and 2016 on January 4th. That's what you're putting down. And that's maybe what the legalities are about. So, and you know, it has something to do with cups, right? So that's the energy because there's not one other cup of love here. This doesn't feel like it's about a partner, that kind of energy. It's more about some sort of action that's being taken. And now whatever judgment needed to be called is happening. And so that's the energy. It's kind of, you know, up in the air kind of energy is what I'm getting. Like it's not really clear yet. I'm going to clarify it to see. But you know, Sagittarius, you might have a really good idea what this is about. So just, you know, recognize that, follow your intuition, and take a look at this and recognize that this is a snapshot of energy. This is so that if you need to make necessary changes, that you can in the energy. Okay, so this card, there's 2 cards that popped out of my deck. I'm using the Tales from the Vector, my oracle, to clarify. If you are enjoying this reading, please do give it a like and comment. It really does help me to build my channel. I really, really appreciate it. I'm just, the cards that I'm using, as I said, are from my oracle. Now, the oracle isn't in existence. I started working on it from 2007, and I have completed all 64 paintings. I'm an artist, so I had a lot of fun doing it, but it took till the end of 2020 to get all 64 paintings done. And the energy of that is on my website, talesfromthevector.com, and that's TAILS. In the description box below, I will have the numbers that are on the cards that come up here for this reading in the order that they come up, so that you can go check it out on my website if you want to get more information and take a look at the pictures to see what it's all about. And the numbers on the cards are how the paintings are listed in my gallery on the home page and also on the shop page. So we have the underlying energy. The first card that popped out is the Magician. Okay, so when this card comes up with this kind of energy and judgment and a tower, we're looking at someone who's using, like, the Magician is the first card that the Fool comes across when they begin their journey in the Major Arcana. And the Magician is representing being able to bring what's above down to earth, to below, right? And it's about using magic, but it's really not magic. It's using the tools that you have to be able to apply yourself to the energy and use your intuition and your logic to make the best steps. And then your purpose is to become a better version of yourself as you do it. So when we're in this kind of energy, and there's judgment being called, and there's a reality check being called, and there's these burdens that don't belong to you, I feel like this is talking about dark magic, someone who's been playing around with magic and using it in a dark way. And then we have the sun coming out on the February. So this is God. It's so funny because this is just saying, yeah, that's true. That there's been some people that have been dabbling in the dark forces, but don't worry about it. The sun is shining on your life, and in February, right there, right from the very beginning of this reading. This is saying God is with you. You're a star. You are meant to do a particular mission. You may be a star seed. You're meant to do a particular mission orchestrated by God, and now this energy has to shift because you need to be in this energy to complete your journey here. That's the energy that's coming up. And so we have, which is awesome. And then this is Aries energy. So that's that energy I was talking about when we're in this full moon energy, which is when they, when there's this dark energy happening, that's when they love to do it. They love to the full moon is their time for doing this kind of energy, because they feel like it's an illusion and no one really knows what they're up to. This Aries energy is about the infant. It's about starting the journey off again in a new light. Like the fire horse energy, 17. Like right here we have 19, right? So the Aries energy, it's about coming in with the new. And this is about being and doing who you are and what you were meant to do in an Empress energy, though. And that, remember, that Aries energy is across from right now the sun and the air and the planet of Mars are facing off the moon and shining light on what's been happening there, which is kind of funny. And then we have the anger. So this is the karmic space of anger. So it's really easy for people sometimes to use anger as a driving force. Sometimes if you're angry, you can get shit done that you can't get done if you're not angry. Because you might be really, like in this energy, a wounded warrior, and then you have to get angry to stimulate yourself. And that's the energy, the danger of the fire horse is that impulse, those impulsive actions. You don't want to participate in that kind of energy. It burns people out, and that's the energy that's saying anger is the gift that keeps on giving, because it actually makes people physically ill, and it causes acidity in the body, acidity in the soul. And so there is such a thing as righteous anger, and that is like when you've been wronged and you want judgment, you want to have your justice, and that's understandable. But if you sit in the anger energy, which is quite often passed down from one generation to another, and I feel like that's why we've got the ancestors celebrating along with the descendants, judgments being called, no reason to be angry anymore. There's going to be some form of conviction, for, like, without a doubt. This energy that went sideways needs to be cleaned up. This is lack of awareness. So this is about all the missed opportunities because of the energy of this. And then we have the destruction. So some people just like to destroy things. It's just the way it is. And some people enjoy that kind of energy. They like to use their energy to see if they can raise themselves up on other people's work, or sometimes on hey, if you put other people down, then you feel better about yourself kind of energy. And so that's the kind of energy that this energy is in. This is about the devastation, or the diva, because there's a lot of divas in the forest, in that energy, in the rainforest. And that energy, what's happening in the rainforest these days, where it's being turned into pasture land, is that progress in motion, or is it not? That kind of energy. And then we have Capricorn. So again, that's talking about the moon. Because if these people are like really putting a lot of this energy into the moon right now, you want to just be chilling out and just like let them do whatever they're doing. Don't give it a second thought, because you're focused on where you're planning to go and you're willing to put the work into it. So the Capricorn energy, though, is across from this moon. And that's what I was saying, is seeing the possibilities that are in the challenges and recognize that the sun is shining light on it. Aries that energy is opposing the Cancer energy that wants to stay home, and not face things. That's the kind of energy that this full moon is in, and it's in it right now as I'm doing this reading. And then we have, we have that. I was wondering when this would come up. So the devil energy is temptation to take what is not yours, or temptation not to see what's going on here, that kind of energy. And then in the middle of this, you have a bunch of people taking actions that are from the dark forces, basically, is what's coming up. And so this energy is confirming that. And it's about this pentacle. These people aren't doing this for no reason. They're doing it because usually, if you want to track why people are doing what they're doing, look at the dollar. That's kind of saying it right there. So the devil energy is temptation. And so someone is tempted by something, and hey, this last pentacle coming in on this energy of the Nine of Pentacles is the most money. Like, it's a legacy of wealth. It's generational wealth. It's a lot of money. And it's not just the money. It's the lifestyle. It's the, all the energy behind it. And on a soul level also, the health, the wealth, like bringing that energy from above down below. And so it's again saying someone being tempted to hey, I want that. I'm going to take that, that kind of energy. And then we have, whenever the devil comes up, I always cover that energy with the next card up, because the devil is, it's a vibration basically. And so it's an archetype, and the devil can't do his own dirty work. The devil has to find minions to do the dirty work for him. Or God comes in and covers it, because actually God is in control of this whole thing. We have choice. We can choose to sell our soul, or we can choose to stay on our path. It's, if you give up your choice, you give up your choice. Why you would do that, I'm not sure, except for maybe you don't like to work, that kind of energy. And so it's talking about, the next card up is the Taurus energy. So Taurus energy is ruled by Venus, and Venus is also in Capricorn. So Taurus and Capricorn are together here on this devil energy, and the Sun in Aries, all of them, Taurus, the Venus energy, the Mars energy, and the Sun are all putting light on what's happening in this moon energy right now. That's pretty wild, really. And so I just want to point out, when I'm bringing up zodiac signs, I'm talking about, especially in a general collective reading, I'm talking about the energy of the state of being of that zodiac sign. What can we learn from it? When they're at the top of their game, like, what is the energy that we want to get in from being in this energy? And also the stage of life. So like Aries energy is the infant. It's the very first sign coming in, and it's representing a brand new energy coming in in the fire horse energy coming into 2026. And that's in March, like at the beginning of March kind of energy. So this Mars energy right now is with the Sun in Capricorn, with the Venus energy reflecting on what's going on at this moon. It's just wild, like when you think about it from that, And Taurus is a toddler, and what do toddlers do? They're so lovable, and they're learning why this, why that kind of energy, and at the same time they don't like to share. And so they are learning the give and take, like no, and they throw temper tantrums. No, I want it. It's mine. And that's the energy. And then all of this is sitting in this energy where Capricorn is going, hey, let's climb a mountain. Let's go build something. Let's go gain some shift, like let's be in this energy of take for Taurus. So these signs, when they come up, they may represent for you energies like in your families and the people and even in yourself. If you have your birth chart done, like wherever that energy is in your birth chart, that's where it represents. But that's not my intention, bringing this energy in, because everybody is an individual and everybody's chart is so different that's just one. The sun sign is just one sign, of 12, right? And so then we have the intention. And so the intention, the road to hell is paved by good intentions. So this can all start off as having really good intentions, or it could be about putting your people putting their intentions to what they want, right? And it's not in alignment necessarily with what you're doing. And so that's coming up a lot in the energy. I feel like the fire horse energy is really going to individualize people to really really dig deep and know who am I really, and where do I want to travel, and what am I about, like this kind of Aries energy, new. And so the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and sometimes people can gather together and have bad intentions and cause burdens for others. And that's just a fact of life. We have mother's worry. This card's been coming up in so many of the readings also. And so this could be talking about someone who is high up in politics or whatever and is a mother. And it could be someone that's working for her children to have, this is here. That's the energy I'm picking up. This card's also been coming up as a mother's worry. I feel like a lot of people on the planet right now have concerns about the direction the world is going and what's happening in the world. So that's kind of coming up with that also. And then we have Temperance. So Temperance is covering this reality check. So Temperance is about devotion to your path when you're in the star energy. And so that's talking about having to have the patience. This is also Sagittarius energy, Temperance. It's about devotion to your purpose. Your purpose is to raise your vibration, to leave the world, the earth, a better place than it was for the next generation coming up. That's to raise our vibration and be the best version that we can be of ourselves. And this is about being devoted to the path that God has put you on, that what you came here to actually do. You're not an insignificant dot. You matter. You are matter, so therefore you do matter. You wouldn't be here unless you were put here to put your individual flavor into the soup of the universe. So, you matter. That's the energy. And you may have had to wait very long time. It could have been over a decade to, this is 2014 kind of energy. This is 2015 energy. What happened to you in 2014 and 15? And then going back again, what happened 10 years ago? At this time, on January 4th, what were you doing in 2015 and 16? On that cusp of moving from, 2015 to 2016. It can bring a lot of clarity. We have the Gemini energy coming in, and look at that. So we have, this is talking about, this new energy coming in, and we're on a learning curve, definitely, because we've got the infant coming in, we have the toddler coming in, and then we have the Gemini energy coming in, and this is kindergarten. This is about learning from what's happened here. So learning that sometimes you need to put some of your wands down. Some of these could have been something that you intended to have and you thought you would really want. These could represent people that you have to let go of. That's what this energy of the full moon is right now. It's okay, get ready, because this is a good opportunity for you to release what's going to hold you back when this energy comes in from the fire horse energy, because the new moon will come in around the 18th or 19th of January after that, and that's going to then be stepping into that new energy. And then when you add the fire horse to it, it's going to be boom, let's go. It's going to be like that. And so it's really, it's really productive energy, and I think quite welcome for a lot of people. We have but for Sagittarius, it's really important to recognize that you already have a lot of horse energy, so you're going to have to rein it in, you don't want to be rushing things. You don't want to be doing things too fast. Take some lessons from the Capricorn energy. The Capricorn is the goat energy. The reason why Capricorn is able to build is because they take consistent steps of action, one at a time. They don't rush into things. They plan, they have a strategy, and they move forward on that. And they're very disciplined in that energy. They're the most, Taurus is the baby of the Pentacle energy, and Capricorn is the most responsible. And look at this, to top this off, it's saying, yeah, this energy here, no more wounded warrior. That wounded warrior energy is going to be the Empress. Really awesome energy. Thank you, Sagittarius, for all your wisdom. It's like all the signs have something to say, and I love doing these kinds of readings because you can feel like all the qualities of all the signs coming together to make the world a better place. I do hope you've enjoyed this. Please do like and comment if you have, and consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy. I would be honored if you did so, and I will be back with a mid-month for January reading. Bye for now. Yeah, sorry, Stella, I have to wake you up.